Hey, good morning. My name is Daniel-Leach, and I'm making this presentation to friends, family, and colleagues about my New York State run that I plan on doing in 2012. A delegate this summer in New York State, in Rochester, New York. I'm not sure exactly what town I plan on running in yet, because I'll be moving here soon. But my mission is to promote and defend the great American principles of individual liberty, constitutional government, sound money, free markets, and non-interventional foreign policy by means of education and political activity. What I want to do as a New York State Senator, first thing that I want to personally do, and I believe it's very important to every person in the United States as well as in New York, and now that would be the prohibit of mandatory RFID implantable chips. You may not know it, but these implantable chips can cause cancer. And not only is that, but they're unconstitutional. So that's number one reason that I would have a mandatory prohibit on RFID chips. Second is that I want to abolish the Patriot Act. It's totally unconstitutional. Anybody that's studied the issue of the Patriot Act since 9/11 knows that this infringes on the rights of every American citizen. The government has no right to listen to your private conversations. They have no right to anything that infringes on your rights as an American. Anybody that gives up freedoms for a little bit of liberty, for security, gives up their liberties and freedoms for a little bit of security, deserves neither. And that's what our founding fathers had to say about that. The number third is the abolish of the New York State income tax. As far as I'm concerned, the income tax is an unconstitutional 16th Amendment that was never passed, and there's no law requiring people to even pay an income tax, so you can look into that. I've studied the issue, and so I am totally opposed to that. Secondly, I would, number four, I would abolish the New York State property tax. There are other states in the Union that have done the same thing, so I don't see any reason why New York State should have to pay a property tax. Somebody loses their job in this economy, they're going to come along and take your house because you didn't pay an income tax or a property tax. I don't think so, and I believe everybody in New York State would be behind me 100% on that, unless you're a total liberal who loves paying taxes out the wazoo. Number five, I would change eminent domain laws. Number one, eminent domain works against the citizens in the United States. It also works against the citizens in New York State. Some giant corporation wants to come in and they want to make some kind of center where you live for gambling, and so they just pay you a percentage of what your house is worth, and then they just take it, and your family's owned that property for 200 years. I don't think so. I think that in order for these people to take your home, they should pay you 10 times what it's worth for the pain and suffering of you having to leave that home. They're going to try anyways, but this is what I would propose. I'd put that on the bill, that they'd have to pay you 10 times what it's worth. So if your house is worth, say, $50,000, you're going to wind up with $500,000 for your home. So that would make those giant corporations think twice about taking people's homes. Number six, education reform. I would cut the public education system to the bare minimum. I believe that every child deserves a private education, whether it be through churches, whether it be through a private school. We should take those taxes away from the government-funded propaganda schools that aren't teaching proper English, math, arithmetic, take it away from the government. The government has no right to brainwash the children of this country. So I believe every child deserves an equal education opportunity. Also, I would, for number 7, provide 2-year free college for every high school graduate at a community college with a 3.0 or higher average. That would give every child an incentive to shoot for high grades. Also, with a 2-year mandatory New York State service. You're going to get something free, well, we want to get something out of you. So that's a 2-year service in New York State. No, you would not be working for 2 years in New York State for free, but you'd be putting in service towards the college education that New York State provided you. Number 8, I would fix the 501c3 tax-exempt laws. The government would not have strings attached in the tax-exempt. That would give religious institutes true religious freedom. Right now, with the 501c3 tax-exempt, the government can limit your freedom of speech and what you can say in the pulpit. Number 9, I would lower corporate taxes to the lowest in the United States. New York State would pay the lowest. Bill Clinton, as an example, went over to Ireland and lowered their taxes to the lowest in the world. They are one of the richest nations right now because Bill Clinton did that. Bill Clinton is not my hero, but what he did is a great example of what can happen in New York State if we lower the corporate tax. People might say, well, how are we going to pay for everything? Well, guess what? If you bring in enough corporations to this state, those little bit of taxes are going to take care of all the needs that New York State's going to need. So we're not going to have to raise any taxes. We're going to lower taxes. And that would bring in jobs. Number 10, sorry, but welfare needs some reform. I would make work programs. There are some work programs, but not enough. Work programs for welfare, you don't work and you don't eat. That's the philosophy of the Founding Fathers. Myself, I believe the same thing. You don't work, you don't eat, unless, obviously, if you're a stay-home parent. One parent's working, the other one's staying home. That's work in itself. Believe me, I'm a stay-home dad at the moment. So I believe that we need to put in some kind of programs for people that are in welfare to get them the job training, on-the-job training, and also I would give tax credits for businesses that would hire people that are on the welfare and to get them off the system. So that's basically my thought on the issue. I also want to read you one of my favorite quotes from Thomas Jefferson. A wise and frugal government which shall leave men free to regulate their own pursuits of industry and improvement shall not take from the mouth the labor of bread it has earned. This is the sum of good government. Quote by Thomas Jefferson. Quote that I believe if I was New York State Governor, I would rule by that degree. Well, I thank you for watching my video, and if you're interested in my campaign, get a hold of me, and we meet once a week, and just leave a Facebook or my Yahoo page. Thanks. God bless, and God bless America.